Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday. College football fans, your patience is about to be rewarded. After a weekend with 0 ranked against ranked games, number 7 Notre Dame's trip to number 3 Georgia headlines a week 4 slate with 3 clashes between top 20 teams. The other showdowns between ranked squads are found in the Big Ten, when number 11 Michigan squares off with number 13 Wisconsin, and in the SEC, where number 8 Auburn squares off against number 17 Texas A&M. Altogether, these 3 marquee tilts Saturday will provide early insight into true conference and national contenders. Remember, friends, to be thankful about those contests, though, because the rest of the slate, with the exception of a few here and there games, is uninspiring. So with all that being said, like I said, hello, friends. This is Strictly Sports College Football Thursday, Week 4 edition. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined, as always, by good old MF Michael Fletcher, Michael Bullock as well. We got a great slate for you all here tonight, so there's nothing more to say. We're not going to waste any more time. Let's get into the action. Only game previews, no more power polls. We're not doing that anymore. Thankfully, Derek Ferrer actually, understood that. So let's move on, folks. Here we go. 2 games tomorrow, and it starts off with a 9 o'clock tilt over on FS1, Fox Sports 1, and it will feature, and this is one of those interesting games right here, number 10 Utah Utes squaring off against the USC Trojans at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Utah is opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. And on the call for this one, I do believe it is Joe Davis, Brock Huard, and Bruce Feldman, I do believe. Let me just confirm that. Yes, it's Joe Davis, Brock Huard, and Bruce Feldman on the call. Utah opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Utah looks like the Pac-12's best bet to make the playoff, and with good reason. Tyler Huntley is efficient at quarterback, completing 42 of 54 for 602 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. Zach Moss remains a force at running back, rushing for 373 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 6.5 yards a carry average. The defense surrenders just 9.5 points a game. USC, meanwhile, is coming off an ugly loss against BYU, a game in which quarterback Kedon Slovis threw 3 interceptions. That said, Utah is winless in the LA Coliseum, and Trojans coach Clay Helton is probably coaching for his job. I think USC will keep it close, but I think the Utes will make a late play to steal the game. So with that being said, I am going with Utah to win this game. My final score, 31-28. The Utes finally steal one in the Coliseum. So nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. A great way to start off what will be our most loaded week of action yet here in week 4. Great action. And what a great way to start it off on Friday night, tomorrow night. Utah, USC, a Friday night in the Coliseum.
And it's going to be a good game. Definitely a good matchup, to say the very least. No doubt about that. At the end of the day, I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to go with Utah. I think SC is going to make it interesting. I think they're going to make a good game out of it. I just don't see Utah losing this one, though. Even though the point spread is close, and I know a lot of people might think, definitely SC has a chance. But I think Utah will find a way, and they'll get the job done, and they'll win the game. So I got Utah winning as well. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement here. Yeah, definitely. USC does have a chance, but let's be honest. I think Utah is definitely the better team here. USC is going to make it close, but somehow they will pull it out in the end. And I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 34-28 is going to be my final score here. I got a little bit higher. Well, basically on the Utah side. So there's really nothing more that really needs to be said. So let's move on to the next game.
And it's our second Friday night game. It's rare we get more than one Friday night game, but we have one here. second one, and it will feature the number 20 Boise State Broncos once again at home on the Smurf turf at Albertson Stadium in Boise. But they're going to be welcoming their toughest test to date, the Falcons of the Air Force. 9 o'clock kickoff, this one over on ESPN2. And on the call for that one will be Dave Fleming, Jim Mora Jr., and Paul Carcaterra. And Boise opening up as a 7-point favorite. Before I give it to MF, there is one key stat I want to throw in and I want MF to keep in mind here. Over the last 6 years, this series is split at 3 wins apiece. So let's keep that in mind. So MF, with that being said, Boise, it's very tough to win on that Smurf turf.
Oh, yeah.
Places to win. Can the Air Force steal one, or does Boise's magic run continue?
You know what? I'm going to say it's very possible for an upset. No doubt about it. If they don't watch themselves, they could get upended. No doubt about it. I'm not going to disagree with that. I honestly think that there is a very good chance that Boise could lose the game. There's very much. I'm going to very much so say that too. But at the end of the day, I got to go with Boise at home. I just don't think. I honestly don't think that they're going to lose this game. I just don't see them, even though I know it's possible, but I just don't see them losing on the Smurf turf. So give me Boise State to win it. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got Boise State winning as well. I mean, like you said, I mean, there's a chance that it could be. I mean, there could be an upset here, but yeah. But the thing is, I mean, Boise State. I mean, it's tough to go against them when they're playing on the turf there. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. I got Boise State winning as well. So Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, like I said, over the last 6 years, this series is split at 3 apiece. Apparently, the magic number is 4 yards per carry for Air Force. Above that average, the Falcons are 3-0 against the Broncos. Below it, they're 0-3. Boise State looks capable of holding Air Force below the mark, having registered 27 tackles for a loss in 3 games. So I do agree with you, gentlemen. I have Boise winning this one as well. 31-23, Boise over the Air Force. So now let's move on to the Saturday slate of games. And we started off at high noon on ESPN2 with one of the Zonk games of the week, one of the squashes of the week right here. The number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide back at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. They're going to be hosting the Eagles of Southern Miss. And on the call for this one will be, let me see. Yes, it'll be Roy Philpott with Kelly Stufer and Lauren Sisler. And the spread favors Alabama by 38.5. All right, Bullock, let's not waste too much time on this one. We all know who wins this one.
I think it's plain and simple. It's roll tide roll, baby. Alabama's going to be all over Southern Miss, so Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be a Viking Raiders squash here, if you will. Good news. Southern Miss just toppled Troy, 47-42. Bad news. Troy threw for 504 yards and 4 touchdowns. Worst news, the Golden Eagles have to stop Tua Tagovailoa and Alabama's quartet of big play receivers. No surprises here. Roll Tide roll, next victim, 56-14. Bama, nothing more to say. MF, quick thought.
Yeah, pretty easy to say. Bama wins going away. And, yeah, this is going to be another roll tide. So, yep, nothing more to say. Anthony, next game.
And we move on to the next high noon matchup. The SEC Network will be the home of this next one. It will be the number 4 LSU Tigers on the road, squaring off against the Vanderbilt Commodores at Vanderbilt Stadium. SEC Network, as I said, and just trying to look through my announcer sheet here. We got Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik on the call, and LSU opening up as a 24-point favorite. Yeah, okay. Just going through my notes here. Just want to make sure I have the right stuff here. All right, I know where to go here. Okay. It's obviously LSU, and here we go. LSU needed 30 minutes to compose itself before running away from Northwestern State. They will not repeat that this week. Vanderbilt showed little resistance against Georgia and Purdue, giving up 7.7 yards a snap and 72 points. LSU rolls 48-14. Yeah, nothing more to say on this, MF. LSU is back, and back in a big way.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I'm not gonna argue with that. I got LSU winning as well. I don't think it's gonna be as much of a laugh. I think it's gonna be pretty much a laugher on this one, folks. I just don't see them making any headway or any major threat. LSU should handle their business if they don't become a bunch of dum-dums and start to think, whatever's whatever. But I believe LSU should win the game and win this pretty handily. So I agree, Anthony. LSU wins. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Oh, yes, definitely LSU is back. And, yeah, I mean, now whether they challenge Alabama, that remains to be seen. But, yeah, I mean, they should have no problem with Vanderbilt, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But, yeah, LSU wins big time, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Let's move on to the next game, Florio.
And we move on to a good old-fashioned SEC rivalry, one of the great SEC rivalries of all time. High noon over on ESPN. We have the number 9 Florida Gators at home at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville. They're going to be welcoming the Tennessee Volunteers to the Swamp. And we have... Oh, well. I don't... Hold on. Maybe I... Florida is a 14-point favorite according to my notes here. Florida opening up as a 14-point favorite. And on the call for this one, it will be Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams. They will have it. Florida opening up as a 14-point favorite. MF, we started with you here. Tennessee finally broke the schneid after 2 embarrassing losses at home. Now they got to go up against a very good Florida team on the road.
And definitely, you know what? Whenever these two teams get it on, there's always some fireworks. But I think Florida should definitely win this game. This should be a great matchup, no doubt about it. But I just think Florida's just the better team, guys. Just honestly, truthfully, I think Florida is going to win it. I really got nothing more to say here. I think Florida will be the winner. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got Florida winning as well. I mean, yeah, some would think maybe Tennessee would maybe put up at least a good effort here, but in the end, Florida is just too good. I just think they're the much better team here, and so I got Florida winning this one. So there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. Florida quarterback Kyle Trask will make his first start of the season against the Tennessee team that won its first game of the season in a 45-0 drubbing of Chattanooga. It's tough. It's a tough ask against a rival, but Trask proved he can handle high-pressure situations in leading a come-from-behind win against Kentucky. All he needs to do is manage the game and rely on the defense with a nation-leading 16 sacks. Do that, and Florida should win handily. So, nothing more to say on this. I'll go 35-20 Florida over Tennessee. So, gentlemen, it's time. It's time for the first part of our triple main event of the week. I'm honestly considering this the number 2 game of the week right here. High noon on Fox. A great Big Ten matchup here. The number 11 Michigan Wolverines squaring off against the number 13 Wisconsin Badgers, Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin. A team, of course, will be there. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, and for this one, we have Wisconsin opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, we started off with you here. Last time we saw Michigan, they almost got upended by the Army.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder, guys, if they took Army too lightly, or they were looking ahead to the big matchup against Wisconsin. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But the thing is, I mean, I'm interested to see Jonathan Taylor, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does against this Michigan defense. And I'll tell you what, if Taylor can have a really good game here, I think Michigan could be in big trouble. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one for me to call here. I mean, part of me likes what I see from Michigan, although I didn't like what I saw when they almost got upended by Army. So because of that, I'm actually going to go with the Wisconsin Badgers to win this one. It's going to be a close one, no doubt about it. I'm going to say 27-24. Wisconsin beats Michigan at home, so nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I hate to be the man who tells it like it is, especially on this show. That's usually for the wrestling show, especially Cerebral Smack Talk, but I'm sorry. Michigan should have lost that game to the Army. They were lucky to win that game, if I'm being honest. Army outplayed them in every aspect, but it took one lucky bounce, and that saved Michigan's rear end. They should have lost that game, and you guys know that. Sorry to be cruel, sorry to explode, but I got to be the man who tells it like
I agree. I agree with you, Florio. I think they should have lost that game, and this is coming from a guy who likes Michigan, and to me, they had no business winning that game.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one on that. But anyways, push comes to shove here. It's all on Shea Patterson. Michigan's defense will keep the Wolverines close, but will the senior quarterback handle a coverage unit that held South Florida and Central Michigan to a combined 3.1 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, and 3 picks? That doesn't look promising for Michigan. Both teams come into this game off a bye, an indicator of just how important this game is in the Big Ten. Wisconsin has outscored South Florida and Central Michigan combined 110-0. Let me repeat that, 110-0. But will face its first real test of the season against the Wolverines defense. The question in this game, however, is whether Michigan, particularly quarterback Shea Patterson, can overcome early struggles on offense and put points on the board. The Wolverines won this game last year by limiting then quarterback Alex Hornibrook to 7 of 20 passing for 100 yards, 1 TD, and 2 picks. That means Wisconsin quarterback Jack Cohn will have to make plays through the air, as the Wolverines will almost certainly key in on Heisman contender Jonathan Taylor. If Cohn can limit his mistakes, then Wisconsin can leave Madison with a close win. And I got to be honest, I think he does. I agree with you, Bullock. You got this one exactly right. I have Wisconsin winning a little lower than you have it. I got 24-21. I agree with you on the spread, 3 points, but just a little bit lower scoring for me. 24-21, I got Wisconsin winning. MF, I'm very curious. You are the Port Authority on Michigan here. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about what happened against the Army.
Yeah, there's really nothing more to say about the Army. I totally agree with everything you guys have said up to this point. I was definitely not happy with the way I saw Michigan play. I'm definitely not happy with the way they've been looking the first couple of weeks, to say the very least. And there is definitely a little bit of a nervous energy at in at Michigan. There's no doubt about it. I think, to say the very least, can Michigan lose this game? Very much so. Can very much lose this game. Um, is it possible that they can rise up and represent? I think a lot of people hope. I think that's the best way to say it. Hopefully they can. But we're just going to have to wait and see what type of Michigan team we're going to get, what type of Michigan team we're going to be looking at on Saturday. But remember, the one thing about Michigan is they do really good at home, but when they go on the road, this is normally the time when they get a little roughed up. Remember, the last time they were in Wisconsin, that turned into a dogfight, and they didn't walk out with the victory. So I kind of agree with you guys. I kind of feel like this is one of those years where, unfortunately for Michigan, they're going to lose. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin as well. 24-21, I go with you, Florio, on that. They just got to represent. They just got to represent. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing more to say. Florio, go.
Yes, I 100% agree with all that. Our final high noon game, ESPN University. And I'm going to be honest, this is a sleeper matchup here. True sleeper matchup right here. Number 23, California Golden Bears, the Cal Golden Bears, on the road, squaring off against the Ole Miss Rebels at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. As I said, ESPN University is going to host this matchup. We have Clay Matvick with Ryan Leaf and Taylor Davis on the call. And Ole Miss opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. Find my notes here. Okay, how much stock do you place in the quote-unquote body clock theory? This non-conference matchup kicks off at 9 a.m. Eastern time for the visitors. Cal will rarely, if ever, win behind its offense, so any sluggish start from a stingy defense could be crushing. Consider this a vote of confidence that the Golden Bears will play aggressively from the start. And after what I've seen from Cal, especially in that big upset they had recently, I'm going to go with Cal to win this. I like Cal to go into Ole Miss and steal one here. So my final score, I'm going to go 24-19. Cal over Ole Miss. Nothing more to say. MF, who do you like in this true sleeper matchup here?
True sleeper matchup, no doubt about it. I'm gonna agree with you, Florio. I don't know why. I'm just gonna go with it. Give me Cal. Give me Cal to win. I think they're gonna win the game. I think they're gonna pull it off. I don't see why they wouldn't. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Cal as well to win the game. So shocking enough, I'm actually agreeing with you. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with everybody here. I'm gonna go with Cal to win this as well. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on everything when it comes to this. So, with that being said, Florio, that's it for the high noon games. Now let's get to the 3:30 matchups.
And we have a squash game to get into before we get into the next part of our triple main event. This one will be over on the Big Ten Network. The number 6, Ohio State Buckeyes, back at home in the Horseshoe in Columbus. They're going to be hosting the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. As I mentioned, this one will be airing on the Big Ten Network. And for this matchup on the call for that one will be, as soon as a lot of games to look through here. Okay, I got it. Brandon Gaudin, James Laurinaitis, and Elise Menaker. They will be on the call for the Big Ten Network. And Ohio State opening up as a 39-point favorite. MF, they Ohio State, they went into Indiana, they took care of business. And I remember, I believe it was on our last show or maybe the one before, I don't know. But you said, I thought Ohio State was going to be bad this year. I thought Ohio State was going to take a little bit of a tumble this year. Oh, no, buddy. They're
They
still
haven't.
ever.
They haven't, and that's the thing. When you still got a good when you still got a good quarterback, and you got some good players there, you got you know Brendan Fields, man. That's all you got to say. Brendan Fields. A lot of people were wondering what is he gonna look like, dude. He's looking amazing. And Ohio State, they you think they're gonna be dangerous enough, and they're still playing great football. So, I mean, there's really nothing more to say about it. They're still one of the best out there. And until somebody knocks them off the perch, they're just going to keep on winning. So they're going to win this game, no doubt about that in my mind. And, yeah, I got Ohio State winning. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, everybody thought that that Ohio State was going to take a step back, but nope, that has not been the case here. I mean, you still got a good quarterback, and you got some other good players on that team that really knows how to play well. And I mean, you just simply cannot go against Ohio State. And people thought this was going to be the year that they start to tumble, but nope, they are still that same Ohio State team we've come to see. So I'm going with the Buckeyes to win this one. Let's move on to you, Florio.
I'm not wasting any time on this. Ohio State rolls 52-7. That's it. And now, gentlemen, it is time for the second part of our triple main event, our three big games of the week. This is the number 3 game of the week right here. It's the first half of a rare SEC on CBS doubleheader. Not one, but 2 games on the SEC network. Little shout out to my man, Chet Kopic. God bless you, brother. The number 8 Auburn Tigers on the road, squaring off against the number 17 Texas A&M Aggies at Kyle Field in College Station. The usual SEC CBS crew will not be calling this game, obviously, because they got the bigger game, obviously, and rightly so. It'll be Carter Blackburn, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Murray, and John Schriffen. They will have the call for that one. Texas A&M, they are opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. So, Michael Bullock, we started off with you here. You lead off on our number 3 game of the week. Auburn, number 8 Auburn, and number 17 Texas A&M. So, Bullock, it's yours. Let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, this is definitely a big game in the SEC. I mean, obviously, Auburn is off to a good start, and obviously, they needed to get off to a good start after. I mean, many people believe that their coach was on the hot seat. So, and now they're going to be going up against a team in the Texas A&M. In Texas A&M, I mean, definitely this is good. Be a true road test for the Auburn Tigers. I mean, having to go into that field over at Kyle Field, where it's usually a big crowd there, you know they're going to be loud and roaring. So, man, this is a tough one for me to call. I mean, part of me is telling me to go with the Auburn Tigers. The other half is telling me that Texas A&M could pull off the upset. Yeah. Oh man, this is not going to be easy. But you know what, guys? It's not too often I do this, but I'm going to pull a Michael Fletcher here. I'm calling for the upset. I'm going with the Texas A&M Aggies to upset the Auburn Tigers. I'm going to say, I'm going to go 24-21. Texas A&M upsets Auburn. Hey, if I'm the lone wolf in this one, I might as well be the lone wolf. Florio, it's yours.
Now that was a bold prediction. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Texas A&M has looked great outside a 24-10 loss to top-ranked Clemson, outscoring their cupcake opponents Texas State and Lamar 103-10. Auburn, meanwhile, has dealt with inconsistency all year, even against overmatched competition in Tulane and Kent State. Auburn quarterback Bo Nix will need to play better than he has all season, and the Tigers' defensive front will need to limit Kellen Mond's big play ability. Something else to consider, Auburn is 3-0 all-time in College Station, winning by an average of 15.5 points in its last 2 visits. It will be closer this time around, but Auburn should find a way to come away with another win. And seeing this SEC clash become a shootout would be surprising. Both defenses are allowing fewer than 15 a game, so timely execution, money downs, and in the red zone on offense will be especially critical. Yes, A&M does hold the advantage, but Auburn is going to test that significantly without a doubt. So, Bullock, you're absolutely right, at least in my eyes. It'll depend on how MF sees it. I'm going with Auburn to win this game. My final score, 27-23. Auburn over Texas A&M. And now, MF, the classic question, the age-old question on this show. Who do you agree with?
Oh,
man.
man.
Agree with me and Auburn or Bullock and A&M?
You know what? I got to say, any other time, I would be very, very, very tempted to call upset, pull the trigger, and join Michael Bullock and say A&M. But this is one of the rare cases where I can't pull that trigger. I'm going to go with Anthony Florio. I'm going to go with Auburn to win the game. And Bullock, you made some very compelling arguments. It's not that you're wrong, because you're not. You definitely have a legit argument for an upset. It is very compelling. But with the way that this team plays, with the way that it's going, I got to go Auburn. I think Auburn's the better team. It's going to be close. I will give you that. 28-24. But I'm going to go with Auburn to knock off Texas A&M. But, man, I would not be shocked if the upset bug hits and it hits in that place. It could very happen. An upset alert definitely is warranted in this game. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, moving on to our next 3:30 matchup. It will be either on ABC or ESPN2. Check your local listings for the time and channel in your area. Another interesting matchup here. Another sleeper game here. The number 15 UCF Knights on the road against the Pittsburgh Panthers at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And on the call for this one will be Jason Benetti, Rod Gilmore, and Quint Kessenich. And we have UCF opening up as an 11-point favorite. So speaking of Central Florida in the playoff, the Knights will try to make a lasting statement on Saturday at 1-2 Pitt, its last Power 5 opponent this year. The Panthers are coming off a hard luck and hard-fought 17-10 loss to rival Penn State and must avoid an emotional letdown against UCF. That said, Pitt could keep this closer than most might think. It ranks 37th nationally in yards allowed a game at 307. UCF should be in control throughout, but it won't be able to distance itself from the Panthers in a frustratingly close game for them. So, and like I said, Pittsburgh took Penn State to the wire last week and might have forced overtime if head coach Pat Narduzzi showed any interest in math. Instead, the Panthers must rebound quickly and show they can stick with UCF. Last year, the Knights cruised to a 45-14 win, but between UCF's superb aerial attack and efficient defense, Pitt is unlikely to hang around. So, but I think it'll be closer like it was with the Penn State game, and especially with them being at home. So I'm going to go with UCF 31-23, UCF over Pitt. Nothing more to say, MF. Hey, give credit where credit is due to Pitt. They hung with Penn State, but just couldn't get the job done in Happy Valley.
Yeah, no, true. I could give you that, but this is UCF, Florio. I mean, they look like they're on a mission. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna go with UCF as well. I think this is gonna be a close game. But I think it's gonna be like a 30-20 type score. I got UCF winning, but I don't know. That's my sentiments about it. I'll go. Actually, no. I'll go 30-21. 30-21 UCF wins. Bullet go.
Yeah, I'm going to go with UCF as well. I mean, UCF is the better team here. I mean, Pittsburgh could be in it at the beginning, but I just think UCF will definitely start to pull away at the end. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I got UCF winning. Let's move on, Florio.
And MF will lead off on our next matchup. And here it is, yet again, the theme of the week. Another intriguing sleeper matchup here. 3:30. This is the other game that will either be on ABC or ESPN2. Check your local listings. The number 22 Washington Huskies on the road at BYU, the BYU Cougars, Lavelle Edwards Stadium. And we got Steve Levy, Brian Griese, Todd McShay, Molly McGrath. They will be in the house. Washington is opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. And NMF, BYU, they beat USC at home last week. We got a stampede. We got a stampede for you and Scotty Van Pelt.
They did. You know us. We're all the guys. We all enjoy a stampede like everybody else. And yes, me and Van Pelt, we had our moments. We all enjoyed ourselves, and it was enjoyable. And to say the very least, congratulations to them for winning that game. Now they're going up against a really good Washington team. This is going to be a dangerous game. But, I got to say it, Washington, be on upset alert. Even though I got you guys winning, closer than what the experts have it. Yes, I know they said it's a 6-point spread. I think it's going to be a little more closer than that. 27-24, Washington wins. But I would not be surprised if BYU does it again. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting Washington on upset alert. But like I said, I got them winning as well. I mean, this is definitely going to be a close game. I think this is going to be like Fletch said, lower than what the other people are saying. BYU is definitely going to give Washington a run for its money here, and yeah, I got them winning. I got Washington winning this one. 28-24 is going to be my final score. So, I really got nothing more to say. Let's move on to you, Florio.
Yes, to me. And Huskies quarterback Jacob Eason has shredded 2 inferior secondaries and struggled with Cal's excellent unit. The BYU Cougars elite, though they're closer to Cal than the opposite end. They just grabbed 3 interceptions and an overtime win at USC as well. But I will cautiously trust Eason to meet the challenge this time around. BYU will definitely give them fits, but I just don't see them beating Washington. I mean, yeah, they beat SC because SC's struggling, but Washington is not SC. That's all there is to say on that. We've known that for the last few years now. So I'm going with Washington to win this one. I'm going to open it up a little bit. 31-20, Washington over BYU. And now we move on to our final 3:30 game. This one will be over on FS1. We have, look who's back in the top 25 for the first time in a while. At number 25, it's the TCU Horned Frogs. They're at home at Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth. They're going to be hosting the Mustangs of SMU. And And working this game will be Tim Brando with Spencer Tillman and Coley Harvey. And TCU is opening up as a 9.5-point favorite. So Bullock, TCU, back in the top 25 for the first time in quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. TCU is back in the top 25 for the first time in a while, and now they got to prove they're worthy of being in the top 25 because they're going to go up against an SMU team that is undefeated, and yeah, TCU. They cannot take this SMU team lightly because if if they can't do their job, I wouldn't be surprised if SMU somehow pulls it off. I got TCU winning, but I think it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little closer than what they're saying. I'm going to say, 20, TCU beats SMU. Florio, it is yours.
If SMU forces the Horned Frogs to throw, the battle for the Iron Skillet might get interesting. Neither transfer Alex Delton nor freshman Max Duggan has done so efficiently. However, TCU just smashed Purdue for 346 rushing yards and should be able to control the game on the ground while holding off a solid Mustangs offense. So I'm going with TCU to win this one as well. A little more higher scoring than Bullock has it. Same margin, 7 points, but I'm going to say 34-27. 34-27 TCU over a game SMU team. So nothing more to say. MF, TCU back in the top 25. Can they stay there?
I think they can. I think they will. I think TCU is going to make this things very interesting, to say the very least. But like you guys said, SMU can definitely pull an upset, no doubt about it. But I got TCU winning. I don't think it's that much of a danger. So I got TCU winning by at least 10 points. I think it'll be like a 27-17 affair.
All right, fair enough. And now we move on to our primetime games. And we started off with the game that'll start at 7 o'clock over on ESPN. Great Pac-12 matchup here. The number 16 Oregon Ducks on the road in Palo Alto. They're going to be taking on the Stanford Cardinal at Stanford Stadium. And on the call for this one, Sean McDonough back with his crew. Sean McDonough back with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe after that fun little experiment we had last week. And the spread favors Oregon by 10.5. And I'll say it like this: one loss Oregon can't afford another heartbreaking loss against the Cardinal if it wants to remain a playoff contender. Luckily for the Ducks, Stanford surrenders 280 yards a game through the air and just gave up 4 passing touchdowns to UCF's Dylan Gabriel. Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, should be able to take advantage of Stanford's defensive shortcomings and keep his team's playoff hopes alive for at least another week, as far as I'm concerned. It's a little uncomfortable. Despite its 10-year streak of 8+ wins, Stanford looks bad, like actually bad. In the last 2 weeks, USC and UCF have scorched the Cardinal for 724 passing yards and 7 touchdowns while throwing 0 interceptions. Justin Herbert has tossed 5 scores in consecutive games, so the Ducks should dominate, but that expectation feels strange. So I am going to go with Oregon to win. My final score, I'm going to say 37-21, Oregon over Stanford. Keeps our friend Eric Carrier happy, at least for now. So, MF, do you think the same way?
I agree. I'm thinking the same way. I'm thinking the same wavelength here. I'm gonna go with Oregon to win as well. I think it's gonna be a very interesting matchup, but I just don't. I think Oregon got the pieces right. I think what happened was I think they had that one hiccup where they should have won the game, but they let Auburn hang around a little too much, and the next thing you know, they got them. They got caught. So I think Oregon is going to win. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Oregon should handle their business here with Stanford, and I mean Justin Herbert. I think will definitely have a really good game here and add to his resume and why he should be one of the guys in contention to be in the Heisman Trophy race. And yeah, I mean Stanford. I mean, not good when it comes to their secondary. So Herbert should definitely attack that. And yeah, I mean, I really got nothing more to say. I got Oregon winning this one. Nothing more to say. Let's move on, Florio.
And unfortunately, these next couple of games are going to be squash games here. I think 7 o'clock over on ESPN2. The number 21 Virginia Cavaliers back at home at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. They're going to be hosting the Monarchs of Old Dominion. And on the call for that one will be Kevin Brown, Andre Ware, and Ed Ashoff. And actually, I do have a spread here. Virginia opening up as a 30.5-point favorite. MF, I mean, we saw Virginia last week. They knocked off Florida State. They're 3-0. They could be a surprise contender in the ACC if they keep playing well.
Yeah, they do. They do. No doubt about it. I'm not gonna discredit what Virginia has done right now. What they've been looking, or I should say, what they're standing at this moment. They've done pretty well for themselves. No doubt about it. I think the big question is what are they gonna do, because you know how the ACC is. Right now, they're practically tied with Clemson in the ACC record for the best record in the ACC. Both 3-0 overall, 2-0 on the conference play. So they're looking pretty good right now. It's just, can they keep it up, or can Virginia, I should say, keep it up and make a big run out of this? So I mean, we know what Clemson can bring to the table. It's really, what can we see, or what will we see as it pertains to Virginia. I think Virginia will win, no doubt about it. I got no doubt in my mind. I think Virginia will win the game. Nothing more. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got Virginia winning this one, no problem. They should definitely handle their business with Old Dominion and maybe continue their roll through the ACC. So, I mean, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. And just a quick update: we have a final score. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football, 20-7. That Grinshaw gets his first win as the starter. But here's the big question, guys. Is this Jalen Ramsey's last game as a Jacksonville Jaguar? Only time will tell.
That's it.
Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, snoozer game. Let me tell you, that was a snoozer of a game. But next week more than makes up for it. Philly and Green Bay. Let's get it on. But for right now, let's get back into this. 2 weeks ago, Old Dominion limited Virginia Tech to only 131 rushing yards on 39 attempts. A similar defensive performance could frustrate Bryce Perkins, who throws often but is far more effective as a runner. However, the Cavaliers' considerable talent advantage should win out. So I got Virginia, easy win here, 37-14. Nothing more to say. Let's move on to our next primetime game, which is obviously going to be another squash here. 7:30 over on the ACC network. The number one reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champion, Clemson Tigers, back at home in Death Valley Memorial Stadium. They're going to be hosting the 49ers of Charlotte. And And for this one, we will have Dave O'Brien with Tim Hasselbeck and Katie George. And do I have a spread for this one? Oh, Clemson.
Oh, look at this spread.
41 and a half. 41 and a half point spread for the reigning and defending national champions.
Ouch.
Ouch indeed. Michael Bullock. We know where this goes quickly.
Yeah, it's Clemson all day. They're going to squash Charlotte big time. Florio, it's yours.
Propelled by a diverse rushing attack, Charlotte has surged from 114th nationally in points a game last season to 14th. That's a terrific achievement and deserves praise. But that's not going to matter when the 49ers head to Clemson. Clemson all day, 49-7. Next victim for the champs. Nothing more to say. MF, Clemson, easy win in the Carrier Dome. They're back home. Inferior team. Easy win for the champs, I'm sure, right? Well, I guess I don't know where MF is. Maybe he stepped away for a moment, but I'm sure he would probably agree, and he would probably go with Clemson in this one as well, to coast to an easy win over Charlotte. So, but let's move on here. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun one right here. The ABC Saturday night game of the week. The number 12 Texas Longhorns at home at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin. And they are going to be welcoming in one of their toughest rivals of all time, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The A-team is back together after a couple of weeks. They're back together. We got Chris Fowler. We got Kirk Herbstreit. We got Maria Taylor. And Texas opening up as 6.5 point favorites. So let's get into this one. Texas's defense faces a doozy of a challenge this week against Oklahoma State, which boasts the FBS leaders in receiving, Tylon Wallace at 390 yards, and rushing, Chuba Hubbard, 521 yards. The Longhorns failed their last test against LSU, surrendering 471 passing yards and 4 touchdowns to LSU quarterback Joe Burrow in a 45-38 loss in week 2. But Oklahoma State's defense is again the weak link on this team, ranking to the bottom half of the country in points and yards allowed a game. So we've got a shootout on our hands, much to my delight and much to MF's chagrin. And as Big 12 games often do, this one should come down to quarterback play. We'll pick Sam Ehlinger, and I will certainly pick Sam Ehlinger to come through for Texas in a close one, without a doubt. Following 2 great showings to begin his OSU career, Spencer Sanders had a rough outing last week. Redshirt freshman QB hit just 12 of 22 for 169 at Tulsa. Keeping up with Texas and Austin will demand a mistake-free and highly productive game, and that's a lofty expectation for Sanders this early. But I got Texas A&M winning this one. It's going to be close. These two teams always play close, whether it's in Austin or Stillwater. It doesn't matter. Texas wins. My final score, 38-35. They should get that bounce back home win against a tough opponent after coming up just short against LSU a couple weeks ago. So hopefully MF is back in and we can get his thoughts on this because we, as you all know, nobody's been more higher on Texas than he has. So MF, obviously you probably have Clemson winning that easy game over Charlotte, I'm sure.
Yep.
So okay, so that's confirmed. So Texas, another tough opponent at home, Oklahoma State, and you know it's always fun when these two get together.
Oh, absolutely. This is a high-scoring shootout. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to waste anybody's time or anything like that. This is going to be a good matchup. We all know that. The excitement level is going to be high. I'm going to go with Texas, though. I just can't go against these guys. So I say Texas wins it. I got really nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, definitely this should be a good game here. We know the history with these two Big 12 schools here. I mean, Mike Gundy is going to have his squad ready to go. I mean, off to a good start this season, but yeah, they're going to have to go in and have to play Texas. And yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State's definitely going to make a game out of it, but I just think in the end, I mean, Texas to me is the much better team here. I mean, somehow I would not be surprised if Oklahoma State somehow pulls off the upset, but Ellinger, I think, is going to have a big enough day to make sure that Texas ekes out a win here. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said except, Florio, are we ready?
Are you ready for the main event, gentlemen?
I'm ready.
The main event, the final part of our triple main event. And at this juncture of the season, this is to me the game of the year right here. The second half of the rare SEC on CBS doubleheader. The number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish squaring off against the number 3 Maiden Georgia Bulldogs, Sanford Stadium, the Hedges in Athens, Georgia. You know who's on this one. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, they will be there. Georgia opening up as a 14.5-point favorite, which I think is a little steep, if I'm going to be honest with you. But, it is what it is. So there's nothing more to say on this. And it's only fitting that a game of this magnitude, we bring in the big gun. We bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher for this one. MF, you get to lead off on the game of the week. And in my opinion, the early game of the year right here, Notre Dame and Georgia. This is going to be a beauty.
And not only that, but you want to talk about college football playoff implications. You don't get a bigger matchup this early in the year. And this is a college football level type playoff game. This would be something we would probably see in January. Notre Dame and Georgia going at it in the Hedges. You can't write a better script on this one. Georgia definitely is the favorite. They did play a couple of years ago, and Georgia walked away only a 1-point winner, 20-19. I think it's going to be just as close, just as explosive. Don't expect this to be a high-scoring affair. I think this is going to be – it could be the first to 20 wins again. You don't know. But I just think Georgia just has enough weapons, just enough to get by Notre Dame. Plus, they're at home, 21-17. Georgia knocks off Notre Dame, but it is going to be a dogfight. No pun intended, but it is going to be a fight to the finish at the Hedges in Athens. This is going to be one heck of a matchup, to say the very least. This is going to be a great game, but I do got the Maiden Georgia Bulldogs knocking off the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 21-17. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, this is a really big game here for both sides, and I think, I mean, who knows? I mean, whoever wins could have the inside track on the college football playoff. I know it's too early to be talking about it, but with a game of this magnitude, I mean, it's hard to argue at this point. I mean, I know Georgia's a 14.5-point favorite, but to me, I think this is going to be much closer than what the experts are saying. I mean, got two really good quarterbacks on both sides, and Ian Book and Jake Fromm. I mean, and Book also leads the team in rushing, and yeah, both have some good receivers in Claypool and Pickens. So yeah, I mean, who knows? I think the defense could definitely play a role here, and I got to agree with Fletch. I think whoever gets to 21st, I think is going to win this one. So So I got Georgia winning this one, and it's going to be a close one. I don't care what the experts say. I'm going to go with the Georgia Bulldogs to win it. 20-14 is my final score. So let's move on to you, Florio.
The immortal words of good old MF Michael Fletcher and the late great Stuart Scott. I'm scared. Big time scared. And I have every right to be. I mean, if Notre Dame were to somehow win this thing, I mean, it would be the most miraculous win in recent memory. I mean, oh Lord. But let me get into it. The Week 4 headliner comes in the form of a top 10 matchup between Georgia and Notre Dame, playoff teams in 2017 and 18, respectively. The Bulldogs won by a sliver at Notre Dame Stadium 2 years ago, and it looks like it could be close again this time around. The quarterback duel between Ian Book, who is 29 of 47 for 553 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Jake Fromm, 42 of 56 for 601 yards and 5 touchdowns, promises to be exciting. But this game should be decided on whether Notre Dame can slow Georgia's rush attack. The Irish rank 120th nationally in rush defense, 230 yards a game, while Georgia has 5 backs led by DeAndre Swift with at least 100 yards this season. Georgia should be able to rely on that depth late into the game, wearing down Notre Dame's defense in a big win for the Bulldogs. Ian Book was a terrific facilitator last year, but when Notre Dame met Clemson in the college football playoff semifinal, he stumbled to 4.7 yards per passing attempt. While reversing that performance at Georgia would be an enormous accomplishment, that's not a forecast I'm willing to make. His surrounding talent is not at that level. So, as much as I want Notre Dame to win, and believe you me, I want it more than anything, I have to go with the Made in Georgia Bulldogs. Notre Dame, they'll hang with them for about maybe 3 quarters, but I think Georgia will pull away late in the 4th, maybe. So, I will say 35-24, Georgia over Notre Dame. Still going to be a fun game, though. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. So, 2 more games left. 10 o'clock kickoff over on the Pac-12 network. We got 2 late night games here. 10 o'clock Pac-12 network. Here's another great sleeper matchup right here. The number 24. Yes, they're back. They're in the top 25. Arizona State Sun Devils. Number 24, Sun Devils, the legendary Sun Devils Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, the former home of the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to be hosting the Buffaloes of Colorado. And this one, yes, I said it was on the Pac-12 network. I just wanted to be sure on that. Ted Robinson, Yogi Roth, and Jill Savage will be on the call for that one. And Arizona State opening up as an 8.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, I think you might have inspired Arizona State last week. You know, they stole one at Michigan State. Herm Edwards, hello, they play to win the game, and that's what they did. They went into East Lansing, and they stole one.
Well, you can say they stole all you want. As Herm Edwards say, you play to win the game. And that's exactly what they did last week. They won the game. They they upset Michigan State. And, and with that, they're back in the top 25. Yeah, and like you said, this is a sleeper matchup here. Who knows? Colorado could definitely give Arizona State some fits here. But to me, I just think Arizona State's the much better team here. I'm going to go 28-24. Arizona State beats Colorado, but I would not be surprised if Colorado goes in there and upsets Arizona State. Florio, it's yours.
All right. Yep, I'm here. Just it froze for a moment. So let me see. Arizona State has refused to allow balanced offense, holding all 3 opponents to 3.2 yards a carry or worse. That appears to be bad news for Colorado, which has seen its passing efficiency drop significantly in every game. The Buffaloes need to break that trend, or else Arizona State will have full control of a low-scoring tilt. So, especially off that big win in East Lansing last week. Ugly game, by the way, 10-7. That was a Michael Fletcher defensive battle. He would be proud of that one. So, I got Arizona State. I got them winning this one 24-16. Arizona State over Colorado. Keep their momentum going. So, MF, can Arizona State keep that momentum going home to Sun Devil Stadium after that big win in East Lansing last week? Oh, not sure where MF went. Maybe he stepped. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right, MF. Colorado and Arizona State.
Oh boy. um, you know what? Colorado, we thought, I think we kind of got caught in that net. We were thinking Colorado, good team, maybe a major threat, the whole 9 yards. And then they ran into the Air Force and they got stunned. Yup. That is how you get yourself in trouble. Arizona State's the better team. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with Arizona to win it. Arizona State to win it, I should say. Nothing more to say. I believe that means we got one game left on the docket, gentlemen.
Yes,
So let's wrap it up. Final game.
Yes, let's wrap it up. And we're going to wrap it up with Pac-12 After Dark on ESPN. 10:30 kickoff. The number 19 Washington State Cougars at home at Martin Stadium in Pullman. And they're going to be hosting a very dud team. And to say the very least, the dud UCLA Bruins are coming to town. Oh, boy, it doesn't get any easier for UCLA. I mean, they have had a hard time season if there ever was one. Washington State opening up as an 18.5-point favorite. Yeah. And it's on it's over on ESPN, and we have Beth Mowins, Anthony Becht, and Rocky Boyman calling that one. So with that, just give me a moment here as got a little okay, here we go. UCLA has showed zero evidence it can handle Washington State's passing attack. Cincinnati, San Diego State, and Oklahoma all posted at least 9.3 yards per attempt while completing 69+% of their passes. Cougars quarterback Anthony Gordon, who already has 1,324 yards and 12 scores, will obliterate this putrid, and I mean putrid, UCLA Bruins defense. There's nothing more to say. It's Washington State all day and all night. 44-17. MF.
Agreed. Washington State, no doubt about it. The more superior team, the more better team. I just don't see them making much of a threat here. So, yes, Washington State should win this. Michael Bullock, finish it off for the night.
Oh, yeah. It's Washington State all night long. UCLA definitely doesn't look like a team that's definitely going to have a chance here. Yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So let's just put a bow on this, Florio.
All right, gentlemen, and that will indeed put the bow on this Week 4 edition of College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in this evening. And we will be back with you tomorrow night for the Week 3 edition of NFL Friday. And, gentlemen, we have another round of main event matchups, two big ones this time around. We got a double main event tomorrow. Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs. And in the other one, of course, the LA Rams against the Cleveland Browns. We'll get into both of those games as well as the rest of the Week 3 slate tomorrow night. And then Monday night, we have Ridiculously Raw. That'll be on Monday following Raw, of course. And then Tuesday, the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF. And then Wednesday Night Mayhem with Derek Ferreira. College Football Thursday, once again next week. And we go into the Week 5 action. And looking at the schedule so far, I see a few good ones here. I see Penn State against Maryland. That could be a good one. Arizona State against Cal. Texas Tech against Oklahoma. Northwestern against Wisconsin. Clemson against Mac Brown in North Carolina. Ole Miss in Alabama. Virginia against Notre Dame. Well, that should be an interesting one. USC against Washington. And then you got Ohio State against Nebraska, and you got Washington State against Utah. So interesting games next week in week 5. So, and that's it. So until tomorrow night for week 3 of NFL Friday, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, Dede Woodson, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, you've been watching week 4 of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday right here on StreamYard.com, streaming on YouTube.com as well. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.